Commander Allison Ward stood at the observation deck of Luna shipyards, watching workers in spacesuits move around the gleaming hull of the ship below. The vessel didn't look special from the outside. That was on purpose. What lay inside would change everything. "Commander, the final tests are complete." Jack Peterson floated up beside her, his tablet displaying green check marks across all systems. "And?" Allison asked, not taking her eyes off the ship. "Everything is working even better than we hoped." Jack couldn't hide the excitement in his voice. "The quantum displacement drive is stable. We can make the jump to Alpha Centauri in under 7 minutes. Allison finally turned to face him, allowing herself a small smile. 5 years ago, aliens had arrived at Earth. The Galactic Council, they called themselves. Over 200 species working together to explore the stars. Humans had been so excited to join them. That excitement didn't last long. Primitive, they called humans. Barely space-capable. The Council put Earth on probationary status. Humans could attend meetings but couldn't vote. They could visit Council worlds but couldn't establish colonies of their own. The Versari were the worst. As the most advanced species in the Council, they looked down on everyone. But they seemed to enjoy mocking humans the most. Their ships could travel from Earth to Alpha Centauri in just 3 days. A trip that would take humans decades with their best engines, or it would have, until now. "Send the message to Nathan," Allison ordered. "Tell him we're ready." On the other side of the solar system, Dr. Nathan Carter adjusted his formal suit and took a deep breath before entering the reception hall. As Earth's ambassador to the Council, he attended many events like this. Most were painful. Tonight would be no different. "Ah, the human representative," said a tall, blue-skinned Versari diplomat. "How is your species' attempt at proper space travel coming along? Have you managed to reach your own moon in less than a day yet?" Several nearby aliens laughed. Nathan forced a smile. "We're making progress, Minister Krell, slow but steady. At your pace, you might catch up to modern technology in a mere 1,000 years. Another Versari added. More laughter followed. Nathan's communicator vibrated in his pocket. He excused himself and stepped away to check the message. 2 words from Commander Ward. "We're ready." His heart raced as he made his way across the room to where Council Representative Mira sat. She was from the Lumen species, one of the few who treated humans with respect. "Representative Mira, may I have a word?" Nathan asked. She nodded, her luminescent skin glowing softly in the dimmed light. "Of course, Ambassador Carter." "Earth would like to demonstrate our new propulsion system to the Council," Nathan said. "We believe we've made significant improvements. That might interest the scientific community." Mira looked surprised. "That's a bold request." "The Versari will oppose it. They see no value in human technology." "Perhaps," Nathan agreed. "But according to Council law, all member species, even probationary ones, are entitled to showcase technological achievements. You've studied our laws." "Well," Mira said with approval, "I will present your request at tomorrow's session." 3 days later, Nathan received confirmation. The Council had agreed to witness a demonstration of human propulsion technology. Even more surprising, the High Council itself, led by Arbiter Zixcal of the Versari, would attend. As Nathan prepared his report for Earth's government, he received another message from Allison. "Operation Lightspeed is go. We're about to change everything." Nathan looked out his window at the stars. Soon, those distant points of light would no longer be so distant. Humanity was about to take its rightful place among the stars, and the Council had no idea what was coming. Nathan spent the next 2 days calling in every favor he had earned in his 5 years as Earth's ambassador. The Council had agreed to the demonstration, but Nathan needed to make sure the right people would be there to witness it. "Ambassador Grell," Nathan said, speaking to the reptilian diplomat from Ceres Prime, "your species has always valued innovation. This demonstration will showcase something truly revolutionary." Grell's forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air. "The Versari say it is a waste of time." "The Versari say many things," Nathan replied with a smile. "But wouldn't you rather see for yourself?" By the end of the day, Nathan had secured promises from representatives of 15 Council species to attend the demonstration. More importantly, The media representatives from 12 worlds would be there too. Whatever happened, the galaxy would know about it. On the morning of the demonstration, engineer Jack Peterson and physicist Dr. Samantha Miller boarded the USS Vanguard. The ship looked ordinary from the outside, a standard human design that the Council races had seen before. Inside was a different story. "Final systems check," Samantha said, her fingers dancing across the control panel. Screens lit up around them, showing the quantum displacement drive's status. The heart of the ship glowed with a soft blue light. "Green across the board," Jack confirmed. "The drive is stable and ready." Captain Kevin Bennett entered the bridge. "The Council delegation will arrive at the coordinates in 1 hour. Are we ready to change history?" Jack and Samantha exchanged a glance before nodding. "Yes, sir," they said together. In his office on Earth, Security Director Alan Reeves paced nervously. "This is too soon," he said to his assistant. "We're revealing our biggest advantage before we've built enough ships." "Commander Ward believes the political benefits outweigh the risks," his assistant replied. "Once the Council sees what we can do, they'll have to accept us as equals." Alan stopped pacing. "Or they'll see us as a threat." Near Saturn's rings, the Council's ceremonial vessel arrived in a flash of light. It was massive, nearly a kilometer long, decorated with the symbols of all member species. At its center was the emblem of the Versari, who had founded the Council 10,000 years ago. Arbiter Zixcal stood on the command deck, his silvery skin reflecting the light of the distant sun. "Where is this human vessel?" he asked, not bothering to hide his annoyance. "I have more important matters to attend to than watching primitives demonstrate their inadequate technology." "They should arrive shortly, Arbiter," said Representative Mira. "I believe you will find it interesting." "The only interesting thing about humans is how they managed to achieve space travel with their limited intelligence," another Versari commented, causing several others to laugh. The laughter died when a human voice came through the communication system. "Council vessel, this is Captain Kevin Bennett of the USS Vanguard. We are approaching your position." The Vanguard appeared on the view screen, moving toward them at standard sublight speed. It was small compared to the Council ship, only about 100 meters long. "That's it?" Zixcal said with a dismissive wave. "It looks no different from the other human ships we've seen." Nathan, who had traveled aboard the Council vessel, stepped forward. "Appearances can be deceiving, Arbiter, if I may." He activated a communication channel. "Captain Bennett, we are ready for the demonstration whenever you are." Kevin's voice came back clear and confident. "Excellent. Council members, what you are about to witness is a new form of faster-than-light travel that we call quantum displacement. Please observe closely." On the Vanguard's bridge, Kevin gave the order. "Engage quantum drive." Samantha pressed her hand against the activation panel. "Jumping now." The Vanguard disappeared. Silence fell over the Council vessel's command deck. One moment the human ship had been there, the next it had simply vanished. "What happened?" demanded Arbiter Zixcal, his silvery skin paling slightly. "Where did they go?" Nathan kept his face carefully neutral. As Captain Bennett explained, they've engaged their quantum displacement drive. "Impossible," snapped one of the Versari scientists. "Their technology is nowhere near advanced enough for such capability." Representative Mira moved closer to the view screen. "Our sensors detect no trace of the vessel, no warp signature, no hyperspace entry point." Murmurs spread across the command deck as Council members from various species consulted with each other. The Versari delegation appeared particularly agitated. "This is some kind of trick," insisted Zixcal. "Perhaps they simply cloaked their vessel." "Our sensors would detect a cloaking field," countered a four-armed technician from the Quarn species. "Then, explain what we just witnessed," the Arbiter demanded. Nathan stepped forward. "If you'll be patient, Arbiter, I believe they'll return shortly to explain everything themselves." On the far side of Alpha Centauri, the USS Vanguard materialized in a flash of blue light. The quantum displacement had worked perfectly, bringing them 4.37 light-years from Earth in a matter of seconds. Inside the ship, Samantha's eyes were wide with wonder. "We did it," she whispered. It actually worked. Jack checked the instruments. Position confirmed. We're in orbit around Alpha Centauri B, exactly where we planned. Captain Kevin Bennett stood from his chair. Status report? All. Systems nominal, Jack replied. The drive core is stable and recharging for the return jump. We'll be ready in 5 minutes. Kevin turned to Samantha. Deploy the atmospheric probe. We need to bring back proof. Samantha nodded and pressed a series of commands. A small probe, launched from the Vanguard, descending toward the atmosphere of the exoplanet below. The vessel's sensors recorded everything: atmospheric composition, gravitational readings, radiation levels, and high-resolution images of the planet's surface. Probe data downloaded, Jack announced after a minute. We have everything we need. Good, Kevin said. Let's not keep our audience waiting. Begin return sequence. Back at Saturn, 7 minutes had passed. The council delegates had moved from shock to heated debate about what they had witnessed. Some argued it was an illusion. Others suggested the humans had somehow rigged the demonstration site with hidden technology. Enough speculation, Zix-Cal declared. Ambassador Carter, explain what has happened or I will consider this a waste of the council's time. Before Nathan could respond, a communication officer called out, Energy signature detected. Something is materializing. All eyes turned to the view screen as the Vanguard reappeared exactly where it had vanished. Council vessel, this is Captain Bennett, came Kevin's voice over the communication channel. We apologize for the delay. We've just returned from Alpha Centauri. Shocked gasps filled the command deck. Preposterous, shouted a Versari scientist. Even our fastest ships require 3 days to reach Alpha Centauri. Perhaps this will convince you, Kevin replied calmly. We're transmitting data from our atmospheric probe of the 4th planet orbiting Alpha Centauri B, collected approximately 3 minutes ago. Data streamed onto the council vessel's screens. Atmospheric readings, surface images, radiation signatures. A Lumen scientist reviewed the information, her luminescent skin glowing brighter with each passing second. Arbiter, she said finally, this data is authentic. These readings could only have been collected from Alpha Centauri B4. The isotope ratios and radiation signatures are unique to that system. Zix-Cal sank slowly into his command chair. How is this possible? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Nathan allowed himself a small smile. I believe Captain Bennett offered to explain their quantum displacement drive. Perhaps we should all listen carefully. The council ship's command deck erupted into chaos. Dozens of alien diplomats spoke all at once, their voices rising in a chorus of disbelief, excitement, and fear. Silence, Arbiter Zix-Cal commanded, his voice cutting through the noise. The deck fell quiet immediately. Captain Bennett, you will explain this technology at once. Nathan stepped forward. Arbiter, perhaps we should invite Captain Bennett and his key personnel aboard to provide a proper briefing. The Arbiter hesitated, then nodded stiffly. Very well. They may dock at Bay 12. 30 minutes later, Captain Kevin Bennett, Dr. Samantha Miller, and Engineer Jack Peterson stood before the assembled council representatives. The room was packed with diplomats from all corners of the galaxy, their eyes fixed on the 3 humans. Thank you for the opportunity to explain our breakthrough, Kevin began. Dr. Miller will provide the technical details. Samantha moved forward, activating a holographic display. Traditional faster-than-light travel, as used by council species, involves pushing a ship through normal space faster than light should allow. This requires enormous energy and creates significant space-time distortion. She paused, making eye contact with several of the alien scientists. Humans took a different approach. Instead of trying to move faster than light, we found a way to temporarily remove our ship from normal space entirely, allowing us to reappear at our destination almost instantly. Impossible, muttered a Versari scientist. The energy requirements, alone are exponentially lower than conventional FTL, Jack interrupted. Our quantum displacement drive uses approximately 1/8 the energy of your fastest ships. The Lumen scientist who had confirmed their data earlier raised a glowing hand. but the principles behind such technology would require an understanding of quantum mechanics far beyond what humans have demonstrated previously. Samantha smiled. We've been studying quantum mechanics intensely since first contact. While the Council focused on improving existing technology, we explored entirely new paths. A murmur spread through the crowd. An avian representative called out. How many of these ships do you have? Kevin maintained a neutral expression. The Vanguard is currently our only operational vessel with this technology. He didn't mention the 5 others under construction at Luna shipyards. Across the room, communication officers from various species were frantically sending messages back to their homeworlds. News of the human achievement was spreading across the galaxy at the speed of light. Arbiter Zixcal finally spoke again. This technology changes the balance of power in the Council. We must convene an emergency session to discuss its implications. Of course, Nathan replied smoothly. Earth will be happy to send representatives to such a session. As a probationary member of the Council, we value your guidance. The slight emphasis on probationary wasn't lost on anyone in the room. The meeting broke up. Kevin pulled Samantha and Jack aside. You did well, he said quietly. The technical explanation was just enough to convince them without revealing our methods. Samantha nodded. They'll figure it out eventually, but it will take time. Time we'll use to build our fleet, Jack added. Across the room, Nathan was approached by Representative Mira of the Lumen. Her skin glowed with soft blue light. That was quite a demonstration, Ambassador, she said. The Council will never see humans the same way again. That was the point, Nathan replied. You should know that several minor species have already contacted me about forming alliances with Earth, Mira continued. They see your technology as an opportunity. Nathan nodded. And the Versari? They're afraid, she said simply. For 10,000 years they've been the most advanced species in the galaxy. Today, that changed. Nathan watched as Arbiter Zixcal huddled with his advisors, their silver faces tight with concern. Change was long overdue, Nathan said. 3 days after the Vanguard's demonstration, the Grand Council chamber on Nexus Station hummed with activity. Representatives from all 217 Council species had gathered for the emergency session. The massive circular room, with its rising tiers of seats, had never been so full. Nathan stood at the center of the chamber, flanked by Commander Allison Ward, who had arrived from Earth the previous day. They were the only humans in a sea of alien faces. This emergency session will come to order, announced the Council speaker, a tall, willowy being with 6 arms. We are here to discuss the implications of the human quantum displacement technology. From his elevated seat, Arbiter Zixcal spoke first. The Versari Dominion believes this technology represents a potential threat to galactic stability. We propose it be classified as restricted technology, with all research and deployment to be overseen by the Council. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Nathan caught Allison's eye. This was expected. The chair recognizes Ambassador Carter of Earth, the speaker said. Nathan stepped forward. Thank you, Speaker. Earth understands the Council's concerns. However, we remind the Assembly that under Article 27 of the Council Charter, no technology, developed independently by a member species, can be forcibly restricted. Earth is only a probationary member, a Versari diplomat called out. A status which seems increasingly outdated, replied Representative Mira, her luminescent skin pulsing with light. The Lumen Collective moves that Earth's membership status be reviewed immediately. The chamber erupted in voices. Several minor species that had previously allied with the Versari now spoke in favor of Earth. The Orion Group supports the motion, called the ambassador from a world near the edge of the galaxy. The Seedy Alliance concurs, added another. Arbiter, Zixcal rose to his feet. This is absurd. Humans have been part of galactic society for only 5 years. They have not proven their commitment to Council values. And what values are those, Arbiter? Allison asked, speaking for the first time. Innovation, exploration, or maintaining the status quo that keeps the Versari at the top of the hierarchy. A hush fell over the chamber. No one had ever challenged the Versari so directly in an open session. "You forget your place, Commander," Zixcal said coldly. "No, Arbiter. You forget that the Council was founded on principles of cooperation and advancement," Allison replied. "In the spirit of those principles, I am authorized to inform the Council that Earth has begun construction of 5 additional Vanguard-class vessels." The announcement sent new ripples of conversation across the chamber. Nathan watched carefully as various delegations huddled together, whispering urgently. "These vessels," Allison continued, "will form the core of a new Earth exploration fleet. We invite interested Council species to participate in joint missions once the fleet is operational." Representative Mira stepped forward. The Lumen Collective would be honored to join such missions. "As would the Orion Group," called another voice. One by one, more than 30 species pledged their interest in working with humans. Even a few traditionally Versari-aligned worlds spoke up. Arbiter Zixcal watched in silent fury as the balance of power visibly shifted before his eyes. When the voices quieted, the Council speaker addressed the chamber. "It seems clear that we must reconsider Earth's status within the Council. I call for a formal vote on upgrading Earth from probationary to full member status." The voting took less than 10 minutes. The result flashed on screens around the chamber. 149 in favor, 62 against, 6 abstentions. "Earth is hereby granted full membership in the Galactic Council," the speaker announced. As applause filled the chamber, Nathan leaned close to Allison. "Phase 1 complete," he whispered. "And Phase 2? She asked quietly. Nathan glanced toward the Versari delegation, who sat in stony silence. "Build the ships, build alliances, and prepare for whatever comes next." Allison nodded. "The stars are finally within our reach." The main construction bay of Luna shipyards floated in darkness. Emergency lights cast long shadows across the half-built hull of the USS Defender, the third of Earth's quantum displacement vessels. Alarms blared as workers in spacesuits moved quickly toward evacuation points. "What happened?" Commander Allison Ward demanded as she entered the control center. "Explosion in the drive housing," reported the shift supervisor, his face pale. "We lost pressure in sections 7 through 12. 2 workers are missing." Allison stared at the damage reports on the screens. This wasn't an accident. 6 hours later, in a secure conference room on Earth, Security Director Alan Reeves presented his findings. The explosion was caused by a micro-device planted on one of the quantum coils. It was designed to damage the ship without destroying it completely. "Sabotage," Nathan said quietly. He had rushed back from Nexus Station when he heard the news. "Definitely," Alan agreed. "And the technology isn't human. The device used components we've never seen before." Jack Peterson, who had been working on the Defender, studied the images. "Can we trace it?" "Not directly," Alan replied. "But there aren't many species with access to our shipyards." Allison looked around the table. "The Versari?" "Maybe," Alan said. "But they're too smart to leave evidence. This could be someone working for them." On Nexus Station, a different conversation was taking place. Council Intelligence Officer Krell, a member of the Rockar species known for their detective skills, reviewed security footage from the human shipyards. His 6 eyes blinked in sequence as he focused on specific details. "Interesting," he muttered. His assistant, a junior officer named Trell, looked up. "What did you find, sir?" "The sabotage device that damaged the human vessel," Krell said. "It has Versari energy signatures, but the design is off. Too obvious." "You think someone wants to frame the Versari?" Trell asked. "Perhaps," Krell replied. "Or perhaps the Versari wanted to be caught. A warning to the humans." Krell's communication device chimed. "Council Intelligence," Krell speaking. "Officer Krell," came a smooth voice. "This is Prime Minister Velgzor of the Versari Dominion. I understand you're investigating the incident at the human shipyards." Krell's antennae stiffened. "That is correct, Prime Minister." "You will cease this investigation immediately," Velgzor ordered. "This is an internal council security matter now." "With respect, Prime Minister, Council Intelligence operates independently." "Not in this case," Velgzor interrupted. The Council Security Committee has just voted to take over. You will transfer all files to my office. The communication ended abruptly. Krell's antennae drooped. That doesn't sound legitimate, Trell said carefully. It's not, Krell agreed. Contact Ambassador Carter of Earth. Tell him we need to meet privately. Back on Earth, Jack had discovered something in the computer systems. Someone tried to access our defense network last night, he told Samantha. They were looking for the quantum displacement drive schematics. Did they get in? She asked, worried. No, Jack said. But they almost broke through our outer firewall. Whoever did this knows our systems well. We need to change all security protocols, Samantha advised. If they try again, Jack's communication device signaled. Peterson here. Jack, it's Nathan. I just received a message from a council intelligence officer. He says the Versari Prime Minister is trying to shut down the investigation into the sabotage. Why would he do that unless they were responsible, Nathan finished. Exactly. But there's more. I've received messages from 17 different council species since the attack. They're all offering to form defensive alliances with Earth. Jack understood the implications. The galaxy is choosing sides. Yes, Nathan replied grimly. And I think we're heading for a confrontation that no one is ready for. The Grand Council chamber on Nexus Station was quieter than usual. Only 57 representatives were present, a fraction of the full council. Nathan Carter stood at the center of the chamber, Commander Allison Ward at his side. The Earth delegation had called this special session, inviting only species they trusted. Thank you for coming, Nathan began. Earth appreciates your support during this difficult time. He activated a holographic display showing the damaged USS Defender. As you know, one of our new ships was sabotaged 2 weeks ago. Our investigation points to Versari involvement, though they deny it. Representative Mira of the Lumen stepped forward. The Versari Prime Minister has been blocking all official investigations. This is unprecedented. And troubling, added the ambassador from the Orion Group. Several of our research stations have reported unusual scans from unidentified vessels. We believe the Versari are preparing for something. Nathan nodded grimly. Which brings us to why we called this meeting. He took a deep breath. Earth proposes to share our quantum displacement technology with all species present today. The chamber fell silent, then erupted in surprised voices. Allison raised her hand for quiet. There are conditions, she said firmly. 3 conditions that are non-negotiable. The room quieted again. First, Nathan explained, all recipient species must sign a defensive pact with Earth. An attack on one is an attack on all. Heads nodded around the chamber. This was expected. Second, Earth will lead joint exploration initiatives to regions beyond Council space. Each participating species will contribute ships and personnel. More nods, though some representatives looked uncertain. And third, Nathan said, his voice growing stronger, all signatories must support Earth's proposal for council reform, creating a more equal governing structure where no single species can dominate. This caused a stir. The council had operated the same way for 10,000 years, with the Versari holding disproportionate power. Representative Mira was the first to speak. The Lumen Collective accepts these terms. We have long advocated for council reform. The Orion Group agrees as well, came another voice. One by one, 49 species pledged their support. The remaining 8 asked for time to consult with their governments. As the session ended, Nathan and Allison were approached by Krell, the council intelligence officer who had been investigating the sabotage. Ambassador Commander, he said quietly, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. I have discovered something disturbing. He showed them a datapad. The Versari have been moving military vessels to positions near the borders of all species who support Earth. They're also recalling their diplomats from those worlds. They're preparing for conflict, Allison realized. It appears so, Krell agreed. I believe they see your technology as an existential threat to their dominance. Nathan studied the intelligence reports. How much time do we have? Difficult to say, Krell replied. Weeks, perhaps, not months. Nathan and Allison exchanged a meaningful glance. Then we need to accelerate our plans, Allison said. Agreed, Nathan replied. He turned to Krell. Officer Krell, would your people consider joining our alliance? The Rakar value independence, Krell said carefully. But in this case, I believe my government will see the wisdom in choosing sides. He paused. The right side. Later, as their ship prepared to return to Earth, Allison reviewed the day's events with Nathan. 49 species, she said. Plus the Rakar would make 50. That's nearly a quarter of the council. And the most technologically advanced quarter, Nathan added. But will it be enough? Allison's expression grew determined. It has to be. The Vanguard is fully operational. The Defender will be repaired in days. The Pioneer and Explorer will be ready next week. And the Versari have hundreds of warships, Nathan reminded her. True, she admitted, but none that can match our speed. She looked out at the stars. The real question is, are we ready for what comes next? Ready or not, Nathan said quietly. It's coming. 2 months later, the full Galactic Council gathered once more. All 217 species were present, filling the Grand Council chamber to capacity. The mood was tense as Arbiter Zixcal took the speaker's position. This emergency session will address the growing crisis, he announced. For 10,000 years, the Council has maintained peace and order. Now that peace is threatened by dangerous technologies and secret alliances. His silver eyes fixed on Nathan. The Versari Dominion calls for Earth to surrender its quantum displacement technology to Council oversight immediately. Nathan rose calmly. Earth respectfully declines. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Zixcal's face hardened. Then you leave us no choice. The Versari, as founders of this council, will take steps to ensure galactic security. By threatening military action? Nathan asked. That would violate the council charter. We uphold the spirit of the charter by protecting all species from dangerous technologies, Zixcal countered. Before the argument could escalate further, the council speaker intervened. We will now proceed to the scheduled vote on Earth's proposal for council reform. Zixcal looked surprised. What vote? No such proposal has been properly submitted. On the contrary, the speaker corrected. The proposal was submitted by Earth and co-sponsored by 62 member species. It has met all requirements for a full council vote. Nathan smiled slightly. 12 more species had joined their alliance since the special session. The proposal, continued the speaker, would reorganize council governance into an equal representation system, eliminating permanent leadership positions. All members would have equal voting rights on matters of galactic importance. This is outrageous, a Versari diplomat shouted. It is democracy, replied Representative Mira. The voting took nearly an hour as each species registered their position. When the results appeared on the chamber screens, even Nathan was surprised. 127 in favor, 87 against, 3 abstentions. The proposal is adopted, announced the speaker. The council reform will begin immediately. Arbiter Zixcal stood rigid with shock. For the first time in 10 millennia, the Versari had lost a major council vote. This session is not finished, he said coldly. There is still the matter of Earth's dangerous technology. Nathan stepped forward. Earth has a counter-proposal. He activated a holographic display showing the 5 completed quantum displacement ships, the Vanguard, Defender, Pioneer, Explorer, and Pathfinder. In the spirit of our new, more equal council, Earth proposes a joint exploration initiative, Nathan announced. Our 5 ships will form the core of a multi-species fleet that will explore beyond known space. The display shifted to show star systems at the galaxy's edge. There are wonders waiting to be discovered. Earth invites all council species to participate. Representative Mira immediately stood. The Lumen Collective will join this initiative, as will the Orion Group, added another ambassador. One by one, species pledged their support, even some who had voted against the council reform. The lure of exploration proved stronger than political differences. Zixcal watched in silence as his authority crumbled before his eyes. Finally, he spoke. The Versari will observe these developments with interest. It wasn't acceptance, but it wasn't war either. Nathan would take it. 3 weeks later, Commander Allison Ward stood on the observation deck of Luna shipyards, watching as the 5 quantum displacement ships prepared for departure. Each now carried crew members from 20 different species. Dr. Samantha Miller joined her. The Pathfinder is ready, Commander. Captain Bennett reports all systems green. And our guests? Settled in. The Lumen scientists are particularly excited about the quantum lab. Allison smiled. 5 years ago, humans were alone in the universe. Now we're leading the galaxy into a new era of exploration. Where do you think it will lead? Samantha asked. Allison looked out at the stars, countless points of light that were no longer impossibly distant. Everywhere, she said simply. It will lead us everywhere.